All right, everyone, I'm back. Been out since I think I looked on there. I think November, sometime in November was the last time I posted a video or a podcast. I think it was November, latter part of November. And the reason I haven't is because I had surgery to my eyes. I had I actually had uh, cornea transplants in both eyes, which is kind of serious. And it was a big deal. It was not major surgery, but it's surgery that it's a little bit harder to recover from. So it's taken me some time. I had one done in November. I waited 6 weeks to have the other one done. And what's funny is the first one hasn't even recovered yet. So I'm kind of blind in one eye and can't see out of the other at the moment. I think it's all going to turn out all right. Apparently my eyesight is my Achilles heel. Some people have other issues. Mine happens to be my sight, so it makes it a little tough. Uh, you 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 find out how much you depend on your sight. I mean, I know that goes without saying, but it's funny how that works. You don't know what you've got until you've lost it. So that's true. So anyway, we're back. I'm going to try and I'm going to start doing videos now rather than just audio. It's obviously that's what everybody does now. So I'm jumping on the bandwagon, and we're going to see if we can't make a few bucks doing this. Make it worth my while. So anyway, I wanted to reconfirm who I am for people who are listening for the first time, possibly let you know my belief system, that kind of thing, what what I think, how I think, and why I think it that way. And mainly, I'm a middle of the road kind of a guy. I'm an average Joe, hence the podcast's title. I'm nothing special. I was a C student, decent basketball player, that kind of thing. Nothing outstanding. As far as my political views, I'm not a lefty. I used to be. I was a Democrat for since as far back as I could remember until you know the early 2000s. Things changed. We'll get into that at some point. But overall, I'm a middle of the road kind of a guy. I'm definitely not a Republican. Don't throw me into that group. I'm not a Republican by any stretch of the imagination. I'm not a liberal. I'm not on the left. I'm not on the right. I'm right in the middle. I am a common sense kind of guy. I look at a situation. I use critical thinking and common sense, and I say, here's what we need to do to address this. And that's who I am. I've always been. I've always had that in my quiver, so to speak. I've always had that, you know, tucked away. And uh, it just seems like here lately, things have gone off the rails. I mean, the party that I knew and I grew up around, the Democrats, have completely gone so far left that I can't even be associated with that party. I really can't. I mean, they've gone so far to the left, and it doesn't mean all of them. I've been criticized about that, about lumping everyone into a big group, but I don't know how else to do these podcasts without using terms like left, uh, uh, conservative, liberal, that kind of thing. I'm not a big fan of labels either, but sometimes it's shorthand. And sometimes I paint with a pretty wide brush. It doesn't mean that if you're a Democrat that somehow or other evil. Okay, I'm not saying that. It doesn't mean that if you're a Republican that somehow or other you are a Soros wannabe. That's not what that means. So I want to make that perfectly clear. I'm not trying to insult anyone. Now, you get your feelings hurt, different ball game. I really don't care about that. If your feelings get hurt, if you got to be a big boy, you got to be a big boy these days. You got to put on your big kid pants and muddle through. I don't think you should be offended when somebody criticizes something that someone said or that they believe. I can criticize that. You can criticize me. I don't see a problem with that. But again, I think we need to be adults here. That's what I think. I think there's too much softness in the world today. I think we walk around in life just looking for something to be offended about, and it gets annoying. It really does. It's annoying to me. It really is. I want to um, I want to live in a world where you can say just about anything you want. I do. I do. That's why I'm a big fan of Elon Musk and his purchase of Twitter. If you really want, if you want to know what's going on in the world, I'll tell you what I do in the mornings when I wake up. I use my phone. I go to my Twitter channel, and I click on trending to find out what people are talking about. It gives you an idea what is being said in the world. And the reason I do that is because you cannot you cannot depend on mainstream media anymore. I want to make that clear. If you're watching mainstream media and you're getting all your information from mainstream media, and what I mean by mainstream media, I mean the three major networks or four major networks. Okay, that's who I'm talking about. Be it cable, be it antenna, your local news. They're not giving you the whole story. They're not. They're not. They don't have the time. First of all, they don't have the resources. And believe me, every one of these places has an agenda they're pushing. They do. They do. I've said that for years. My podcast is littered with this. I'm not a big fan of mainstream media, nor should you be. And the reason for that is because they're going to lie to you. They have an agenda. They're trying to make money. Do you understand what that means? There were years ago, back when I was younger, in my teens, there was a time when the newsroom did not make money for a network. Okay, it was a loser. That's what it was. But it was actually better back then, which is fascinating. It really was. It was better back then because people actually did journalism. Today, it's completely different. Everyone's got an agenda. Everyone's trying to make money. Everyone's trying to get clicks. Clickbait. We say things. It's mainly opinion. Have you noticed that? Now I'm not here. I shouldn't really say that because my whole podcast is opinion and commentary about current events and politics. But I'm not a huge mega corporation that has millions of views. I'm not. I'd be great to be that way. But at the end of the day, we all know that I'm commenting on things. I have an opinion. When you watch Fox News or you watch ABC, you go there wanting to you're going there looking for information. You don't get that anymore. What you get is an opinion. MSNBC, CNN, I watch them all. I watch them all. The View, for God's sakes. Oh my God, The View. Again, they have every right to do that. They have every right. The View has every right to exist. I'm not saying they should be taken off TV. I don't. I don't believe that. It's a free country. You can do what you want. You can say whatever you want. You can even lie. It doesn't matter. But having said that, you as a viewer need to know that just because someone says something on The View, it doesn't make it gospel. Just because they say it on ABC, it doesn't make it gospel either. Fox News, they're one of the worst. I'll be the first to admit it. So, where does that leave us with? Well, it leaves us with independent journalism. Okay, it leaves us with people who have cell phones in their hands, people who, just like me, who see an event and relay that information to you. And I find that Twitter is probably one of the best to do it. If there's an event that takes place in the United States, and in this particular podcast, we're going to talk about the wildfires in California, your best bet is to go to Twitter. It really is. Type in wildfires, California wildfires. You will have just a multitude of different sources from people who are on the ground seeing this with their own eyes. Not a news reporter, not somebody there who has a let's say an editor back home, back at the main office, who's going to dissect and edit everything that he or she says to push an agenda. That's what they do. Independent journalism, it's the only way to go. You'll find it all over the place. All you got to do is look for it. It's everywhere. Find the people you enjoy listening to. Find the people that more often than not are right. And Katie bar the door. Why not? Why not have more information than we've had in the past? I think it's great. I think it's great. So, having said that, I just want to let you know I am a middle of the road guy. And yes, I do poke fun at both sides. I do. I do. The left is easy to poke fun at. Um, there are some people on the left, and I'm going to use that word. I don't know how else to do it. I'm going to use the word left. Could I use the word Democrat? No, I can't because that's not what they are. They're lefties. They're a fringe. Um, well, I wouldn't say fringe. I guess that's probably the wrong word. What would you call them? It's not everyone. How about that? It's not everyone on the left. Some people are. I mean, I can have a conversation with a lot of people who have dissenting view or opposing views to me. I love that. I love talking about that. But the problem is you sometimes you have to be very careful when you're talking to these people. Um, yeah, well, I think we're getting there. Let's see what this looks like. What do you say? Um, we'll probably start next week officially, but right now I'm still getting comfortable. I haven't done this in a while, so it's going to take a while for me to get back on my feet. I was at one point doing shows one right after the other daily, and I got pretty good at this, but it was all audio. This is a little different. I did work for a network at one point for a few. It was for a little while, a couple of months, and that seemed to go pretty well. But I think what I'm going to do in these cases is I'm going to split these up into smaller segments rather than doing an hour. I think I'm going to do 3 15-minute segments or less or less. I'm going to try and keep it under 15 minutes because most people, their attention span will not go beyond that. Okay. You have to split it up. You have to, it's like what do they say? If you're if you're giving a speech, after 10 minutes, you've lost everybody because they've started thinking about other things. They start thinking about what they're going to have for dinner, what they're going to have for lunch, what the kids are going to be doing today, what's my dog doing, that kind of thing. You lose them. So we can go into detail over a period of time and about things, and you may not even hear me. You may be listening, but you're not hearing me. And what's the point of doing this if the people can't? Whoops, hang on, just move. There we go. What's the point? What's the point of doing this if people are not paying attention? So, having said that, I'm going to make every effort to put in, maybe do at least two. I would like to do it daily. I don't know that I can keep that schedule up, but I'm going to need your help. I'm going to need your help. Um, I need you to subscribe to the channel, especially YouTube. Substack, I'm probably going to make that a membership only type thing where we're going to talk about some really, really wild stuff. We're going to get into things that I always tell everybody. I said, if you knew if I told you what I believe and what I've learned and what I've researched, and I brought some of these subjects up, you would pay the bill, walk to your car, get in the car, slam the door, put the car in drive, wave at me, and never speak to me again in your lifetime. You would. You'd say, this guy's lunatic. But that doesn't make me wrong. Okay. So that's basically all I wanted to get out right now. We will be returning to this spot again and again and again. I have more fun doing this. It's just getting the process down, and it really is difficult at times. It's very hard at times to get this process down, especially when it changes, especially when you make the leap from audio to video. It's really tough. So anyway, that's all I got for now. I will talk again later. Peace out.